Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, it's DJ. So, alright, I just got back from camping. I know it doesn't look like it, but I had to make sure I got cleaned up. I got back yesterday, and yeah, it was nice. Um, but the one thing, and so that's what we're going over today, is kind of wildfires and what's going on in California, and not just California, but all along the coast and throughout the country, really. But so we're gonna go over how you can check in your own area where fires are and what the smoke level is going to be, and so you can kind of check all around and see what's safe and what's not safe, depending on where you're going, or even the forecast coming up for your area. Is it best for you to be outside breathing in this, especially if you maybe have asthma or other things when it comes to breathing? Because where we went, it wasn't bad. It just it would affect kind of your eyes a little bit, and it would start to kind of hurt, a little bit, like your throat. You could actually feel it. Just certain times when it was smoky. We actually got very lucky. We brought the rain with us, so the first night we were there, even though it was supposed to be hot, it rained, and so that helped clear some stuff out. And, we always bring the rain anywhere we go. It seems like when we go camping or anywhere, it ends up raining on us, even if it's August, which is just something that, we should probably do more camping, like all over the place, so that we bring rain everywhere. But so I do want to talk to you a little bit about wildfires themselves, and then we'll get into how you can look up, wildfires in your own area. But one thing that was different about camping is we could not have a campfire. So any campground, we went to two different places, and both spots, it's absolutely no fires. But we had already looked that up, and we got something that it's like a fire pit where you put lava rocks in it. I'll try to find you a picture of it and send it to you. But I think more importantly, I'll also post on our group chat pictures of the camping trip, or some pictures. But we bought that, and what you can do is buy a propane tank, and because the one thing that was okay is to cook food. They said you could use propane, but they also allow you to have one of these fire pits as long as it's hooked up to a propane tank. So what happens there is it's just fire coming out, but it's not going to pop. There isn't going to be any spark that would fly off errantly and cause a wildfire or cause any sort of fire. It's a much safer way of doing it, but there's park rangers that were constantly going around saying, "Is that a real fire?" And we'd have to show them, like, "No, look, it's a tank." And we actually had other campers come up as well and ask the same thing, like, "Are you guys having a fire? Because you can't have fires here." And I'd be like, "No, we actually checked into this before, so this is what we did." It's not the same as a real campfire, but it does warm your hands. It does have an effect to where you can kind of sit around it, warm your hands up, things like that. And you can control how hot or cool that you actually want it. So it was nice that way. And there were some other campers there, and they had the same thing. But most people, we could distance ourselves pretty well because, like the first site we stayed in, we were pretty much all by ourselves, which was fantastic. But the difference now between wildfires, like say when I was a kid, which we didn't have as many, and what's happening now and why they don't want you to have campfires, is not so much, the two main things are acts of nature such as lightning that cause fires. PG&E has also had some trouble with causing fires, just by not cutting things down or cutting things back, and then having electrical problems and starting fires. And then there's, of course, the human element of us actually having fires and having them get out of control. But the difference now is when I was younger, we didn't really go through drought years as much, to where we didn't have rain. And so what would happen is the ground would be wet. Like most of the things on the ground were wet enough to where even if a spark flew off, it would land on wet ground. And there was nothing to catch fire. Now what's happening is we're having so many years of drought that everything on the ground is very, very dry. So, like, I mean, you could just pick up like a pile of just needles and things like that, and they're just completely dry. And all the wood, like the trees that had fallen from the previous years, were dry all the way through. Now, see, that's the scary thing, is wet wood doesn't really burn. It smokes, but it doesn't burn. Whereas warm or dry wood, that thing, it catches really quick. And so everything, like all around with the drought going on, with global climate change and things like that, there are certain things that are just making things drier and more susceptible to quick burns and massive burns. And so that's why with wildfire safety, we have to make sure that we're being as safe as possible. Because right now the ground is so dry, we're just not getting enough wet. And the water that we do get is just like a drop in a bucket. It's nothing. We need massive amounts of rain to actually get us out of this drought. And the way things look now, we're probably not going to get it. And so camping is going to have a much different look for the foreseeable future, until we hopefully get some weather patterns back that, unfortunately I don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. I'm not a climatologist. I don't know for sure, but just the way things are. So it was nice to see the new look of camping, and that people were still having fun, like, because you'd have to use the restroom and then go walk by people, and you'd see them at their camp, and they'd be sitting around in their own bubbles, and everybody had their own bubbles. And, you just kind of, hey, how's it going, as you walk by. And you could see, though, that people had at least a propane fire to where they were sitting around and having a jolly good time and talking and laughing and cajoling, and that was a wonderful thing. But now to the scientific part for you. It's not so much science, it's just technology, which is science. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through how you can, on your phone or on your laptop or on your home computer or at the library, wherever you can get some internet access, how you can check wildfires in your area. Now, there's always the news. Don't ever forget that if you have a TV, which most people don't use it for news anymore, but there's still very accurate information on the news. So you can always tune into the weather channel, or to the news for the weather forecast, and for wildfires. But the best site that I know to go to, thankfully Melanie let me know about it, because she's very good and persistent at checking on wildfires to make sure, because we were trying to find a place where we wouldn't, that we would be as far away from wildfires as possible, and it was quite a drive. So what you want to type in is ESRI, and then once you have ESRI typed in, then it should pop up eventually, but you want disaster response wildfire. So it's the second one here. You can see it, the ESRI, disaster response wildfire. So you want that, and then click on that, ESRI, disaster response wildfire. Then what it'll bring up is this, and that's what you want to click on right there. So you click on, and it'll say Fire Maps and Response Support, Wildfire Disaster Program, ESRI. Bam, we click that in. And then what you want to do is it'll have a little thing like this, which I can share it with you. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow when I'm back. So we're going to go to view full screen. And there we go. Those are all the wildfires going on in California. That's a lot. And you can zoom in on any of them. So I don't need that right now. Then the other thing you can do is up here, see there's a layers. So if we click on the layers thing, so I'm going to click on it, and it's just, it looks like stuff just stacked on each other. So we're going to click on that. And then down here, it'll say smoke. So it's NWS smoke forecast. NWS smoke forecast. Sorry, and then we're going to click on that. Yes, that's what I wanted. And boom, it brings up like see all the brown, all this, that'll show you all the smoky area. So now we have that, we can zoom in. Zoom in. Well, my phone does not zoom very bad. But I mean, it just, even the more you zoom in, the more you see the fires. I mean, this goes all the way up to Canada here. But we want California and our smoke forecast. There we go. Where are we? Let's look up Richmond. Richmond, California. And then, let's see. My phone is taking a long time today. I apologize, folks. Yeah, so we want the smoke. No, actually, for us, I mean, it doesn't look like it's too bad. Let's see. But you can play around with it and kind of figure out, exactly what you want to see. But really, I think the most important thing is to see where the fires are. And make sure you have the smoke layers and everything on so that you can really see, where everything is and how we can best avoid these fires. And luckily, we live somewhere where we're not, because we're by the bay, it is a bit wetter here. So we have that luxury. There's Chico. Yeah. So, okay, Sacramento. So we'll be down here. Yeah, there's not really much by us. We went through Redding. It was really hot there. Now, see, we're good as to where we are. And the smoke isn't hitting us as bad, which was nice to see. Oh, okay, well, smoke is a little bad in our area. So that's the smoke in our area. But like I said, play around with it some. And you can really start to see, like what's going to be affected, how it's going to be affected. It also show you the changes throughout the week and things like that. But so this has been kind of our safety class for the day. but also just a general class on wildfires, how to look at them, why they're going on, and why we really want this to be a rainy season when the rainy season is supposed to come. So August, September, hopefully we start getting stuff in October. We'll start getting cooler weather, and then hopefully we really start to hit some stuff, some rain, and some stuff will move in and clear some of this smoke out and really help people, because there have been a lot of wildfires and people have lost a lot of stuff because of the wildfires. So our hearts go out to them, and my thoughts go out to you and your families, and I hope all of you are doing well and staying well, and I'll talk to you very soon. Okay, bye everybody.